Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the shipping sector marine transportation stocks that were in play today. There were more stocks than this. I can't cover them all. I'm going to hit the top percentage gainers that we are currently following. Okay, so first up is TOPS, TOPS, closed up 133% today, so congrats everybody, awesome follow through today. RSI here is at 47, so first off, if you're a bull, you want to see it break above 50, and then you want to see it stay above 50, and it's got a lot of room to run until that 70 overbought level. So there's still juice in the tank here to push higher. Fasto is above 80 now; it's at 89, so we'll have to see if it can head higher at overbought levels on Fasto. What you have here is a crossover on ADX, so that's a signal the bulls are taking control with the green line above the red and the black line. So what we were looking for today on the chart was a close above the 50-day simple moving average. That's the green line here at 74. Notice how it closed just below that level on Friday. So today there was a big gap up open, and it ended up pushing higher and closing above that level. So very good. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Now, TOPS was trading strong and after hours trading today, and it closed up here at 214. So that's what this red line represents. So if you look over here, you can see the resistance zone that it needs to work through. If it can get through this August support level that's now resistance, then we've got this level right here from these candles here, which is a horizontal resistance level. If it can get through that between this 4 and 5 zone, then the next big level is the bottom of the gap. That's the really big level above the current level. Okay, so if it can get through this resistance zone, it's the bottom of the gap. It's all the way up here at $8. This is a big gap here. The next simple moving average is all the way up here at 1579. That's the 100-day simple moving average, and notice how that's lining up with the top of the gap. So a gap fill would see a test of that 100-day simple moving average. So not sure how far this is going to run. Tomorrow there could be a gap on the chart. If there's an unfilled space, many times it's a target for to shoot for on a pullback. If the candles do work back into the bands, EMA 4 down here at 101 is going to be your first support level, your first major support level, and then you really want to see this 50-day simple moving average hold. If that can hold and turn into support, a new uptrend should begin. Okay, so yeah, huge volume behind the move. There was a PSAR bull flip, and then if you look down here at the at some of these other indicators, you can see Bollinger Band width here is getting wide. Notice how it was super tight during the consolidation, and then this is signaling, this is reflecting the breakout. You've got a huge spike here on CCI, the commodity channel index. It's way up here at 471. Above 200 is getting really frothy, and then once you get above 400, many times that's signaling that it's very overbought, and that could lead to a pullback. So we'll have to see if CCI will signal that, if we can keep pushing higher. That's really lofty levels on the indicator. Here on shaken money flow, notice that there was a green histogram spike. Now we had discussed this in our chat about the spike down on Friday. Notice there was a spike down on CMF and then a spike down in accumulation distribution, even though the share price was up. That's a signal of possible dilution. The company is selling shares. Sometimes they pull it back for people to load as well. And then today, this is what you really want to see, is a big spike. Notice it's the first green histogram bar in many months, and then also notice the giant spike in accumulation distribution. There's a huge spike in accumulation today, so that's what you want to see when a stock's heading higher. And then you've got the money flow index here above 80. It's pushing 96, so that's also hitting these lofty levels. But yeah, we're going to see if it can keep pushing higher. It's traded really well. It's got a lot of upside potential with RSI at 48. Okay, so take a look at DCIX. DCIX here is currently okay. So it closed up 80%. That was awesome. That's exactly what we wanted to see today. I was just working on this chart, so let me get into this. So if you look here, RSI and Fasto, they're still below oversold or overbought levels. 80s overbought on Fasto and 70s overbought on RSI. So there's still some juice in the tank. If you look down here, had the bullish crossover here on ADX, and then what happened on Friday was there was a close above the 50-day simple moving average, the green line. That was signaling more upside, and there was nice follow through today. There was a big gap open. Notice how today's candle's floating above the upper Bollinger Bollinger Band. Okay, so many times when that happens, when you have a space between the candle and the upper Bollinger Band, the candles work their way back into the bands. If that happens, EMA 4 is all the way down here at 1167. That's the first support level. Once again, you want to see this 50-day simple moving average hold. If it holds and turns into support, a new uptrend should begin. Notice the upper wick on today's candle hit the bottom of the gap zone. There's a gap back here. There's actually two from back here in August, and so it hit the second gap here, and then there's a gap right here between these two candles. So there's a gap here and a gap here. The gaps are spaces on the chart, and many times when you hit the bottom of a gap, it's a resistance level, acts as resistance, and the share price pulls back. Many times it's a temporary top. So we'll see what happens if it can push higher and cruise through the bottom of the gap level. If it can fill that gap, then the next level is going to be the second gap over here from August. So the gaps are the next targets. If it fails to get through, then that could signal consolidation. Now the interesting thing is, looking at the shipping sector, marine transportation stocks, it appeared to me that pretty much they were all up after hours trading. The ones that we were following, except for DCIX, it was trading at 1950 in after hours trading when it seemed like most of them were moving higher after hours. So that is a little bit of a red flag. It seems like it is losing a little bit of momentum. So we'll have to see if it can push higher. If you look here at the DCIX 15-minute chart, you'll see here we posted alerts on this, and it had this nice channel from the last 2 days. This is a 2-day chart, and then notice how it started a downtrend here. We wanted to see this ascending support line hold. It was holding all the way until the close. Notice how it closed below the green line. So that was signaling some possible downside risk. It also closed below the middle Bollinger Band. So it's got to get back above this 21-22 level. If those levels turn into resistance, it could pull back. The first big support level is going to be down here at the 50 simple moving average at 1711. So that's the next support level. And then this is the after hours close, so it's down here already at 1950 on the after hours close. It's below the 20, and so the next big level is 17. If it breaks below 17, that's where you could see a huge pullback, and it could possibly drop down to the 100 simple moving average, or it could drop down to this support level down here at 11. That's another big support level. So yeah, keep an eye on DCIX. If it can get back above this middle Bollinger Band 2260, and then the big level of the break is going to be this high close at 11 o'clock, and that's around 28.30. Okay, let's look at SHIP. Okay, congrats on SHIP today. Okay, so it followed through nicely. It's not producing the monster gains like the other plays, but this was cool to see it follow through. This was a laggard for us. It was lagging behind the other stocks that were already moving, and so it had a very bullish follow through today. It's got RSI at 58, so it's still in the bull zone. You've got Fasto now, but both of these are it's above over sold levels, and then now it's hitting close to 80. Notice how SHIP in the past has been able to run above 80 on Fasto. It had this really nice run, and Fasto was above 80 the entire time. So this could signal the possible start of a new run. Okay, so if you look down here on the chart, you'll see what happened. These are the annotations from Friday's chart. So this chart was posted on Friday. I have not updated these annotations, and so as you can see, it bounced off the 200-day simple moving average, and then we were looking for a close above this dotted purple line and the green line here, the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average, and it did close above both levels. So that's exactly what we wanted to see. So that was cool. And then notice where it hit. It hit right at the top of the gap. So there's a gap fill today. So SHIP filled the gap. Okay, so many times when there's a gap fill, that signals the stock it could stall out. Well, SHIP was very strong in after hours trading, and so it's currently up here at 127. So that's putting it above the next key level to break. The next key level is this closing price on October 17th at 125. And so if it can stay above 125, if it's at 127, that's going to be signaling more upside potential. Then you're looking at the high close here from back in or the high of September, which is 130. It's about 135. Okay, so that's going to be the next key level if it's trading above 125 at pre-market target tomorrow, then look at 135 as the next key level. If you can get above 135, that's going to be really bullish because 140 is a huge level. I'll show you that next. Notice how there's increasing volume as the share price is heading higher. That's exactly what you want to see. What we were looking for is okay, the bull crossing the 12, 26, and 9. Look how they're pinched. So they were you know, a little bit of ways away on Friday, and they've really come together. So we want to see that crossover tomorrow. The MACD line, the black line, cross over that blue signal line. And then down here, look how there was a MACD bullish crossover on Friday on the 8, 13, and 5. So those were signals the charts were heating up. Now, if you look out a little bit further on the daily chart, you can see the big resistance levels. So if the share price right now is at 125, this was another chart. I'd been posting this information in our chat for everyone tonight, and so yeah, so I have to go back in here to the annotations. If you look here at 125, that's the big level to break. It's above that level right now. It's at 127. Notice how that was a big resistance zone from back here in January and December. You know, this was a big resistance zone, this 125, and to me, this is looking like the neckline. So you know, it could be a stretch here, but to me, this is looking like an inverse head and shoulders. This looks like the left shoulder. This looks like a head down here, and then a right shoulder, and then you've got this neckline here at around 125. You know, you could do the diagonal neckline here. You know, that is, you know, this zone right here where they cross. You know, they're crossing right here at 125. It's this big resistance zone. If you want to go with the diagonal, then the next key level, it pushes it up here at the 300-day simple moving average at 140. Notice how this ascending resistance line, this red line here, lines right up to the 140. So it's looking like that is the next big target. So we're looking for that to be tested tomorrow if it can stay above 125. So if it can break above 140 and close above that level, then SHIP will be trading above all the moving averages on the daily chart. And that's exactly what a stock needs to do in order to break out higher. Notice that it had a golden cross here. The 50-day simple moving average has already crossed over the 200-day simple moving average. So this chart has really been heating up. It's set up now to break out higher. This has been a big pattern over the course of the year. So we'll see if it can, you know, head higher. The key is you want to turn the top of the channel, this big channel here. You want to turn the top of it into support. So keep an eye on SHIP. We'll see if it can keep going. Oh yeah. And then we can just look at this. I won't even go into the annotations, but you can see on the 15-minute chart here. We were looking for a close above the 11 o'clock closing price, and it closed above that level today. So notice how it closed right above that. That does signal more upside potential. It was really strong into the close with a nice volume spike on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so take a look at GLBS. Okay, so this was another big winner. Congrats, everyone. You know, I mean, the shipping sector, they're pretty much all winners today, so you couldn't lose if you were following our alerts last week. You know, you were all over it. So congrats, everyone. Good job. Way to stay engaged. See, that's the thing about the shipping sector is they run during, you know, multiple times a year. We get these big runs, and it's all about being engaged. When you're engaged, you get a chance to capitalize on it. So if you look here at GLBS, it made a big move on Friday. It had this giant volume spike, and then what we were looking for was a close above the 100-day simple moving average today. I'm showing you this chart so you can see the next resistance levels. Sorry if it's a little bit hard to see. This gold line here is the 100-day simple moving average at 103. We wanted to see a close above that level today. It actually gapped up open above it and ended up closing above the upper Bollinger Band. If the candles do work back into the bands, that EMA 4 at 110 is the first support level, and then you just want to see that the candles stay above the 100-day simple moving average. If they can stay above that level, that's going to signal more upside potential. Okay, so if you look back here in July and then back here in May, this 165 level is a big resistance level. You know, it hit it a couple times here in May. It pulled back, it came back up, and it actually opened at that level back here on the what is that, the 7th of July, and it failed to close above, and then it pulled back. And so if it can close above this 165 level, that would be really bullish, and then that should put this 200 and 300-day simple moving average zone on deck. So these are the targets, because these are the next simple moving averages after the 100-day simple moving average. If the 100-day simple simple moving average holds and a new uptrend begins, it's going to work its way up to these moving averages. And so these will be the next key levels to break, but it's got to get through 165 first. Okay, so take a look at RLOG. Okay, so RLOG performed nicely again today. Another winner for everyone. Congrats. Closed up 18, almost 19%. So let's look down at the chart here, and the bullish development was the close, okay, above resistance, but it was in the resistance zone from back here in June. That was the next key big level to break. Notice how the upper wick on today's candle hit our next target, which was the 200-day simple moving average, basically at 51,508. So that's going to be the key level to break tomorrow. If it can get above 51, then we're looking at a possible run up to the 300-day simple moving average at 625. Failed to break this 200-day simple moving average, and the candles could work their way back into the bands. Once again, it's EMA 4 here. There are multiple gaps on the chart. Yeah, the bearish 3 gap ups did form today, so keep that in mind. This is I didn't have it in the correct order, but yeah, this bearish reversal pattern did form today. Bearish 3 gap ups. If you look here at American bulls, you can see that. It's always good to check what the candlestick pattern is. Many times stocks will push higher after forming this pattern. It just signals that the chart's getting frothy. If you look up here, RSI is at 71 and it has topped out at that level before. Fasto's at 70. The long upper wick did lower Fasto. So it's all going to come down to that 200-day simple moving average. Close above signals more upside. Fail to break. Candles work back into the bands, similar to how they worked into the bands here and here. As long as the middle Bollinger Band holds, the new uptrend should continue. There's really good volume behind the move. The chart's got a good uptrend going. Notice how the top of this new channel, this uptrending channel, is pointing up here towards the 300-day simple moving average. So that does seem like that's going to be the target here if we can get above that 51 level. Okay, so take a look at ESEA. Another nice follow through today. Okay, so this is really cool. It closed above resistance today. This is what bulls wanted to see. This stock is, it's got RSI hitting 70. It has a hard time staying above 70 on RSI. It's got Fasto down here at 54. The long wicks on the candles here have lowered Fasto. And so this is the chart from Friday. And so what we were looking for was a close above this closing price in October. The high close horizontal resistance. It was breaking that on Friday, but it closed below. Today it gapped up open above that level. So that was exactly what we wanted to see. It's basically at about 197 or so. If it can, now the key when a share price breaks above a key resistance level, you want to see that level hold and turn into support, and that signals it wants to push higher. And so right now, ESEA is trading above all the moving averages. If you look over here at the moving averages, it's currently above all of them, and it's riding EMA 4 resist or support higher. And so this is as bullish as it gets. This is very, very bullish. I discussed this before. In the last video, it has the the golden cross, the freaking platinum cross, if you want to call it, the 50 over the 300, the 100 over the 200. The chart is just building strength, and it's breaking out here. You've got the MACD bull crosses that are just starting, so that's signaling the potential start of another run. Look at prior MACD bull crosses, and then the nice runs followed. There was a nice push here. There was a more extended run on that first MACD bull cross. So this is signaling that the chart's really heating up. And so when a chart's heating up, what you got to do is look at the weekly chart. We showed this to you in our last video, and I want to show you again how the close last week above the 100-week simple moving average at 182. That's the gold line. Notice how the candle last week closed above it for the first time. Notice how for 5 weeks in a row it was trying to break that level, and then it finally did last week. That was the signal that it wanted to head higher. So now you have the nice push here. So it's got this nice uptrending channel. This is exactly what you want to see for a long-term swing trade position. As long as the candles are in an uptrend in the weekly chart, then it's a signal to keep riding. Now you want to see that 100-week moving average hold. As long as the candles are above the 100 and the 50-week moving averages and the middle Bollinger Band, which is the 20-week moving average, then the chart is super strong and it should keep pushing higher. Now the key level to break is the high close here from the November high close from 2016. That's lined up with 250. Now 250, if it can break above that and close above it for the week, keep in mind a weekly chart does not set until the closing bell on Friday. That's going to signal that that should be the signal that it wants to head higher, and then we'll be looking at a potential run up to the 200-week moving average at 535. Okay, and one more to leave you with, PRGNF. We kind of forgot about this, the Paragon shipping. I'm sure other people didn't. You know, we've had so many stocks running that many times you forget about the crappier ones in the sector. And so this has had some historic runs. So check it out. It's up 70% today, and it's actually been on a really long run here already. It's on a 6-day run. And it actually closed above the 200 and 100-day simple moving averages today. So if it can stay above the red line here at 0.034, the next target's going to be all the way up here at the 300-day simple moving average at 0.094. So it still has some really good upside potential if it can hold on to this 200-day simple moving average. It might get a nice climax push. You know, today could have been the climax. Now it's above the 200. If it works its way back into the bands, keep an eye on it. This could be a nice one to, you know, for a little OTC lotto play. You know, it has to stay above the middle Bollinger Band to keep the uptrend going. If it pulls back below the moving averages, that could signal that it's going to start to consolidate again. So keep an eye on it. Could run to that 300-day simple moving average. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Thank you.